What's going on, guys? All right, so I'm gonna kind of get a couple things set up here. I'm working with an extra screen today. Woohoo! Coming up, coming up. So I got this. Actually, I gotta back it up a little bit. I actually got this from Chris McCoy, who is in one of my accelerator group program that I'm in right now. And he got it from. So he shared with me this video on YouTube from Steve Larsen. And I guess Steve Larsen was huge in the ClickFunnels community. What's up, Amari? What's up, Diana? Hey guys, hashtag live. If you're watching this live, you know the drill, why we do it. It boosts engagement. If you boost engagement, it boosts the reach. It boosts the reach. That means more people see the video, right? All right. So my brain always goes, it's always thinking, and you know, one of the things I struggle with is shiny object syndrome, and you know, knowledge stacking. So what's going on, guys? Got a lot of people on here. Say what's up. Give me a hashtag live. So what I got from Steve Larsen was the YouTube video was titled Emotional Selling. And I've been selling HVAC projects for roughly 5 years now. I've been in the HVAC trade about 25 plus years. And, you know, I had to kind of learn how to sell. And it's been a process, and it's been an awesome process. And there's been a lot of great books that I've read. But one of the things that I found and that I hear a lot, especially on Facebook, especially in the private group, especially talking to people in Messenger and whatnot, you know, when you help people out, what the problem, the fundamental problem with growing a business, or doing better at work, or loving your job, hating your job, want to leave your job, want to find other ways to make money. You know, there's all these issues. You know, I want to have a different lifestyle, the laptop lifestyle, entrepreneur life, yada, yada, yada. You boil it all down, all those problems come down to what I feel is really kind of the core of the problem. And that is something I dealt with. I went to therapy for off and on here and there, but I did a major dose of therapy. It's EMDR therapy, emotional mind, no, what is it? Anyway, it has to do with, it's like eye movement desensitization. Oh my goodness, I think I need another cup of coffee. So anyway, to deal with some post-traumatic stress, things that happened in my life when I was younger, and going through that therapy, one of the things that I found with myself that came up in the therapy was not feeling good enough, not feeling like I was enough. And so that's what I think a lot of these issues, or a lot of these problems, or a lot of these complaints come from, is that we don't feel like we're good enough. And so we start accumulating. And so I watched this video with Steve Larsen talking about emotional selling, and he talks about dose. He talks about the four main chemicals that our body produces and releases into our system to have us feel a certain kind of way, to feel better about ourselves. And it was an awesome video. But then I didn't really think much of it until I came across another video, and it was an interview with Steve Maxwell. And Steve Maxwell is he's pretty much a badass. The dude's been training and teaching combat and martial arts since 1972. And I watched this video on YouTube. It was the, I got a ton of notes here, guys. It was the London Real and People That Matter, or something like that. So Steve Maxwell, look him up. He recommends a book. I'm going to give you that guy's that book that he recommends at the end here, and it has to do with breathing. Another book that I'm going to buy that kind of came up when I watched Steve's video, and then I watched, I guess both Steve Maxwell and Steve Larsen. They both had, you know, neither guy knows each other. They have nothing to do with one thing or the other. You know, Steve Larsen's about selling a business, and Steve Maxwell is about combat and living a minimalist lifestyle and conditioning and training and whatnot. And but they both talked about very similar things, and that got me thinking. I'm seeing a lot of similar things. It's all comes together, and I talk about this all the time. Mindset, right? So Steve Maxwell says you attract what you think. The interviewer said that he had gotten a quote from Kevin Kelly, who's the founder of Wired Magazine, that you're only as old as the last time you changed your mind. Steve Maxwell goes on to talk about not being good enough, or not having a good enough, not being good enough, having that as a mindset. And he even talks about, and I'll link the video in the comments here after I get off this live, so you guys can watch it. It's about 45 minutes long, but I highly recommend it. I'll also link Steve Larsen's video as well, so you guys can watch that, check it out. It's pretty awesome. Chris McCoy's on here, actually. Chris, if you could drop that link, that'd be super dope. So let's get into dose. What is dose? Dose stands for, or is an acronym for, actually, let me give you a definition of what dose is. I actually just happened to look up dose, and I was just curious what the definition of dose was. It's a quantity of medicine or drug taken or recommended to be taken at a particular time. Okay, so if we kind of put that in our minds. The D in the acronym stands for dopamine. O stands for oxytocin. S stands for serotonin. E stands for endorphins. So I'm going to run down kind of what I researched and what I found as far as what each one of these things does, and then also how we can find that a way to produce that in abundance and anytime we want, so we get that fix. I mean, these are drugs. These are drugs, and a lot of manufactured drugs and big pharma, they create drugs to supplement or to replace that, because we have just lost, at times we have lost the ability to just stop, be mindful and present, and actually find a way to find those in ourselves. So dopamine gives a surge of reinforcing pleasure when we are achieving them. So when we get a big win, or something great happens, or let's say we have a task at hand, we set a goal and we achieve that goal, we celebrate, that's the dopamine. So instead of celebrating, and here's a little hack, if you will, to getting a dopamine fix, instead of celebrating the big goals, and this is something that you'll see, I posted this, and this kind of got, things are just kind of coming together, right? So my friends list is almost at 4,000. We're just on the tipping scale of 4,000 friends. Facebook group is now, getting, past the 400 mark. We're 420 something, or almost 420 highly engaged people in that group. So I'm celebrating the small wins there. So instead of celebrating just the big goals, break them down into little pieces. And this creates a series of little finishes, which will release dopamine. So instead of being left with the dopamine hangover because we just celebrate that one big win, boom, we're done. Celebrate the small victories. And then not just that, but before you achieve your next goal. So like right now, I'm about to hit 4,000 friends. And to me, that's a goal that I had, was to increase my friends list. Okay. So then I can start networking. I'm using that as a network of people to, trade ideas or business or barter or whatever, help out along the way, etc., or have, get them to help me. So that's a small win for me. So before I reach that 4,000 mark, I'm going to go and create a new goal. So maybe the new goal will be 4,500 or 5,000, whatever it is, or, something else in my life, so I've constantly got a list of goals. So that way, before I hit that 4,000 mark as that one goal that I had, I'm already staging the next dopamine fix. So then I get that dopamine fix because I'm going to celebrate it. I'm going to post it. You guys will see the post. I'm on to the next one. So I keep my dopamine levels consistent. And what this does is it also ensures a continual flow for the experiencing dopamine. Like I said, in turn, this increases future motivation and productivity. So think of finding a dopamine fix, celebrating the small wins, and using that to help you get motivated and stay productive. O is for oxytocin. Oxytocin, they call or it's been coined the term, the cuddle hormone. So oxytocin creates intimacy, trust, and builds healthy relationships. I experienced this just yesterday with my son. He's going through an age now. He's 10, going on, 13, 14, whatever. And it's been a little bit more challenging. Younger, he was just my buddy. He was my sidekick. He was, attached at the hip and whatnot. But it's been a little bit harder to kind of get in touch with him and connect with him and find things to do. He just wants to stay at home and watch TV, or not TV, but watch his movies or play his video games. He doesn't want to go out and do stuff. So that's why I posted the other day about scheduling out the weekend and go do stuff, get out and do stuff. Well, we took him to the roller coaster park, Old Marine World here in Vallejo's, now Six Flags, and man, what a difference that made. He felt, he felt more alive. He felt more energetic. He was, more connected with me, just talking, and we were connecting, and it was a great time. So, really building that relationship and the trust and the intimacy with him. So, oxytocin is essential for creating strong bonds and improved social interactions, often referred to, as I said, the cuddle hormone. Simple way to keep oxytocin flowing is to give someone a hug. Dr. Paul Zak, Z-A-K, explains that interpersonal touch not only raises oxytocin, but reduces cardiovascular stress and improves the immune system. So if you instead of popping pills, okay, that's what I'm going through all these. So instead of popping pills, these are ways that we can improve our overall health, our overall stress levels, our overall well-being, and just being in a better state of mind. And being able to attack these, or go after our goals and work in the 9 to 5 and not hating our jobs and building the business on the side or whatever it is we want to do. So rather than just going for a handshake, go for a hug. Dr. Zak, Z-A-K, recommends 8 hugs per day. I mean, you can even try hugging yourself. I don't know. That's on you guys. So. So to help build relationships at work, when someone receives a gift, their oxytocin levels rise. You can strengthen work and personal relationships through simple birthday or anniversary gifts. So you're having trouble with somebody at work, kick them down a gift card, kick them down, roses or candy or whatever. Okay. Candy actually will help out because that brings us on to, let's see, no, that's later. That's for the endorphins. So that's oxytocin. Serotonin, the S. Serotonin flows when you feel significant or important, when you get that pat on the back, when you get that praise, when somebody says, good job, okay? We can also do this with ourselves. You don't need somebody else to give you that validation. I'll get to that in a second. Loneliness and depression appear when serotonin is absent. So not only is serotonin great to have because you get that from feeling important and significant, but the flip side to that is loneliness and depression. So if you're feeling down, I've had depression. I've gone through so many bouts of depression and had to pull myself out of that, had a network of people to kind of, hey, the first thing they say is, look how great a job you're doing. Look at this, look at that. So I did need that external source, but you could do that with yourself. And I'll tell you here in a second. Unhealthy attention-seeking behavior can also be a cry for what serotonin brings. So people joining gangs or doing things that they probably shouldn't be doing, hanging around with the wrong crowd, etc. Princeton neuroscientist Barry Jacobs explains that the most antidepressants focus on the production of serotonin. So again, we're popping a pill instead of finding a way to naturally increase serotonin in our own cells. Now, again, just a disclaimer, I'm not a doctor, I'm not a therapist, I'm not a psychologist, but these are just things that I've read through multiple sources, not Wikipedia, and this is what I found from other books, from other high-level people that are doctors. There obviously I know that there's certain situations where the production of some of these hormones just don't occur for some people, and there's imbalances, and that's where obviously see your doctor and make sure that you don't have those kinds of deficiencies. But if that is not the case, reflecting on past significant achievements allows the brain to relive the experience. This is something that they talk about in the law of attraction, something I talk about all the time with mindset, okay? Think back to something that you were proud of, or winning a medal, or winning a race, or getting a task done at work that was a hard task and you achieved it and you got recognized for it. Whatever it is, the birth of your child, getting married, getting divorced, whatever it is that made you feel good, you think back, close your eyes, think back on it, relive that experience like it was just happening. Your brain doesn't know the difference. And for me, I know if I think back on something like that, sometimes if I'm not actually physically smiling, I'm smiling inside. So reflecting on past significant achievements allows the brain to relive the experience, because our brain has the trouble telling the difference between real and imagined. So it produces serotonin either way, whether it's happening, it had happened, or even better yet, hasn't ever happened, but you picture it like it has, okay? So visualization. It's another reason that gratitude practices are effective. So I am grateful for XYZ, to remind us that we are valued and we have much to value in life, okay? So I might not have that Maserati, Ferrari, Lamborghini, whatever, the boat, the truck, all that stuff, right? So what? I have a house, I have a roof over my head. I have clothes on my back, okay? I have, soap in my bath, in my shower that I can, wash up every day, So just being grateful for, the food in our belly, the coffee in our cup, just the little things. Having the mental faculties to be able to have conversations with other human beings. Be grateful for every little thing, and that provides, I'm not going to get too deep into that, but that provides abundance and allows us to accept more of those things. So if you need a serotonin boost during a stressful day, take a few moments to reflect on past achievements and victories, all right? So just stop what you're doing at work, go outside, sit in your car, put on a little bit of music or whatever, just write down 5 things that you've achieved, maybe 5 things that you're grateful for, feel that, appreciate that, and then go back to work. Take a couple breaths, and we're gonna get into breath here on the end here. Appreciate you guys staying here with me. Hashtag live, give me a hashtag live. Let me know that you're getting any value out of this. Let me know if you're still on here, you're actually listening to me ramble on. So I'm hoping that you guys are getting some great content out of this. I'm actually thinking of printing this up for you guys and putting it in a PDF. If you want a copy of that, if you want me to do that, let me know. I'll put it all together for you. I'll add a little bit more as far as some ideas and things that, actionable items that will actually help you to accomplish that. So endorphins, the E in dose. Endorphins, this is a big one. So endorphins are released in response to pain and to help alleviate anxiety and depression. Another depression one, right? So the second wind, or the euphoric runner's high during and after a vigorous run or exercising or just doing whatever, that is a result of endorphins. Similar to morphine, it acts as an analgesic. I can never pronounce that word. And a sedative, diminishing our perception of pain. So along with regular exercise, laughter is one of the easiest ways to induce an endorphin release. So, quick note before I get on to the jokes. Aromatherapies. So studies have shown that dark chocolate and spicy foods, as well as the smell of vanilla and lavender, have been linked with the production of endorphins. So you're at work, you hate your job, you want to get out of there, you're stressed out, you got a lot going on, whatever, keep some dark chocolates, maybe some aromatherapy, if you don't also piss off your cubicle mates there because you the smell of vanilla, because they're going to be a hater on you. At least have the chocolates. And then what you can do is not only are you going to give yourself an endorphin rush, but you're going to share your chocolates with your, I'm going to refrain from using the words I want to use, but your coworkers that you're not really fond of or that are kind of a thorn in your side. It's also going to increase their endorphins as well as promote or induce oxytocin, which is the bonding one, right? The cuddle hormone. So instead of giving them a hug, just give them a little bit of chocolate. All right. So that's it for dose. One book that I'm going to read, and I'll let you guys know about it, is, and I forgot to get the author's name, is Meet Your Happy Chemicals. And they talk about all of these chemicals in there. I have not read the book. I kind of just breezed through a little bit of it, and then that's what got me into researching more about dose. Back to Steve Maxwell in the video that I'm going to link here. He talks about breathing. So this is interesting, and I think I've heard this somewhere before, but coming from Steve Maxwell, and you guys see who this guy is. He's a pretty awesome dude. How we breathe affects how we interact with the world. That we have sensors, right, in all different spots of our lungs. When we take shallow breaths from our upper chest, and that's when our chest is, you know, lifting and raising out, that actually causes us to trigger stress receptors. So that when we're in panic mode, we're breathing, you know, from our chest, and we're panicky, then that increases stress. So that way it goes back to our reptilian brain, or our, you know, primitive brain, to get into fight or flight mode. And then we freak out, and then we, you know, make rash decisions or whatever. We, you know, get all stressed out. So what he recommends is diaphragmatical breathing. So breathing from our diaphragm, where your abdomen and the lower lobes of your lungs actually expand. So instead of just the upper parts of your lungs, those smaller parts of your lungs actually expand. You get air down in there. That there's the opposite of the stress receptors is actually the calming receptors. So breathing diaphragmatically. And, you know, if I put together a PDF for you guys, let me know if you would want that. I'll put a couple links on how to actually do this. You know, you can look it up on Google as well. So the Buddhist monks, Navy SEALs, Russian system called Sistema, the special ops martial arts, they all teach this type of breathing. Hickson Gracie, the Gracies, you watch the movie Choke, he talks about breathing from deep within and how they are able to stay calm. It also helps you when you're exercising, or you're, you know, in a combat situation, or you're wrestling around. You know, I'm a jiu-jitsu guy, so there's that. And then yeah, so Steve Maxwell recommends a book, and I'm gonna get this book as well, The Oxygen Advantage, and he talks about how to, you know, improve your breathing for a better life. So guys, I hope you got some value out of that. I feel better sharing that with you. Give me some love. Hit the like button, the heart button, the angry button. I don't even know how to make an angry face with my hands. Yeah, if you got some value out of that, let me know. And if you want to see, like I said, if you want to see the a PDF of this all put together with some actionable items, step by step, I'd be more than happy to put that together for you and give you a copy. So just let me know, and I will put it together. Otherwise, I'll talk to you guys soon.